Hello, I'm Amari Jones, and today is Thursday, March 12th. This is Caffeine TV, your daily news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number of today is 2. That's the number of police officers who were shot outside the Ferguson Police Department early this morning around 12:30, critically wounding both, one in the face, the other in the shoulder. But the good news is that it looks like both will fully recover. Now, this is the latest incident adding tension to the long battered community. As a matter of fact, protesters had gathered outside the police department last night in order to celebrate the exit of Ferguson Police Chief Thomas Jackson, who joined a whole slew of Ferguson officials who have resigned or been pushed out over the last week, including other police officers, court officials, and Ferguson's city manager. But there were calls for more to be done, such as the disbanding of the Ferguson Police Department. Now, what's curious about this particular incident is that, according to eyewitnesses, shots rang out from the hill overlooking the Ferguson Police Department. And to be quite frank about it, night sniping is a particular skill, with snipers planning out their operations long before they're carried out. So this incident raises more questions than it answers. But honestly, the longer things go on in Ferguson, the more bizarre they get. The next number up today is also 2. That's the number of days it's been since 2 students were expelled from the University of Oklahoma for leading that now infamous racist SAE chant. But already in the news media, there's a growing backlash against the penalty. Just yesterday in the New York Times, there was an article in which legal scholars question whether or not the expulsion is constitutional, but that's tame in comparison to what else is going on out there on MSNBC. Yesterday, their morning program, Morning Joe, the hosts Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough questioned whether or not this entire incident is a result of the continued use of the N-word in hip-hop. And later on in the day, Rush Limbaugh piled on by saying that Kanye West should put out a song with a sample of the chant and that it would be a hit because it uses the N-word. Now, personally, I abhor that word, but it wasn't the most egregious thing in the chant. That was the reference to lynching. And quite frankly, I don't remember the word lynching being essential to hip-hop lyrics. For that, we have to go back to another space and time. And according to the Daily Mail, an SAE brother said that in the mid-2000s, a part of their brush process was to dress up in blackface and pick cotton outside of the fraternity house. But there is one hero in all of this, and that's Senator David Boren, former U.S. Senator David Boren, who's the president of the University of Oklahoma. And within 48 hours, he had the chapter closed, the students expelled, and told him he would pay their bus fare home. And that actually is the way that racism is going to end when we turn around and face it. The next number today is 300 million. That's the number of records that Madonna has sold around the world during her career. And recently, she sat down with Out Magazine to promote her recent album, Rebel Heart. But during the interview, she said that she thought that it was harder to be black or gay than a woman. But what's interesting about that is that Alex Bird points out, a contributor at the Huffington Post, you can actually be all three. You can be queer, you can be a person of color, and you can be a woman. And as we spoke about in our recent interview of Sarita McFadden of The Guardian on black feminism, we're trying to get to a stage where all three are actually supported, because it's no longer the case that feminism is driven by straight white women. But as we've spoken about here recently, Madonna took a fall during the recent Brit Awards, and with these comments, she continued to take a tumble.